literally I conformed to society and I lost myself in my marriage.
Sure.
So I became who a wife should be.
The problem is every time we get money,
Yeah.
right, she gains weight.
Yo, so you've got a lot of money, girl. Welcome to episode 2 of Young and Married Conversations with Wendy Matsibeli. Thank you so much for the support that we've received so far. It's been overwhelming. Please continue to subscribe on our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook at Young and Married Podcast Conversations with Wendy. Today I am joined by two lovely people, Mr. and Mrs. Matsibeli. He's my brother-in-law, right? Younger brother to my husband, and we are sisters, right? In marriage. Thank you so much for joining us on our show today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Before we start, I want us to do an ice break, right? So that we calm the nerves, right? What's your childhood meal or food?
Dinner.
Your favorite childhood dinner? What's that?
Sugar beans.
Really?
Yeah, like you'd have pop and sugar beans.
Nama.
Yeah, it was nice.
It was tough, guys. Fifi?
And
I
some
want-
bones, sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah, you would have like meaty bones.
yeah.
Then you cook them in sugar beans. Yeah.
No, but I think you guys at least still had meat. I remember we used to eat iputu and amanzi. Putu water with sugar.
With sugar.
That's what
yes.
we used to eat.
Sometimes we would have that, but my favorite is along his lines. It's dumpling, cabbage, and the bones. So like even now, sometimes I crave it and I just wanna.
Is it something that you both still eat now?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
still
yeah.
eat it
Enjoy.
now. Yeah.
I eat and
Oh,
enjoy, but I
nice.
don't crave.
You don't crave, but you still eat it.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's very nice.
I know that I've moved away, so we used to eat a lot of bull brand. Till today,
You don't.
and easy. I don't even want to see it at the shops. Like I pass. That's how bad it was. Okay. And what's your favorite song, and why? Oh no, if you don't,
Song.
yeah.
Jesus, no, I don't know.
Is it
Song. Mine or our favorite song?
yours?
Mine.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yours? You don't know?
I don't know. Jesus, I'll have to think about that one.
Yeah.
But
For yourself in future, you must just
yeah.
Thabo.
But I've been listening to like 947, so I'm liking this beautiful things. Is it Benson Boone or something?
Yeah.
I
Some
don't
of
know.
them.
Yeah,
Is it a song?
yeah, it's a
Please
song.
don't take away these
Beautiful
things
that
of
I've
mine.
got.
Yeah, that one.
Oh, okay. Is that your favorite song?
Currently, yes, that's what I like. As
It's
soon
okay.
as
We'll
it comes
accept
on,
you then. We'll take that. We'll take that. Yours, Fifi?
To be honest, I'm not a music person.
Okay.
I only listen to music when I need like lifting up or
Oh, nice.
I'm just sad or I'm happy.
Yeah.
It depends, right? So currently I would say one call away by Charlie. What's
Charlie Puth.
yeah, that one. Yeah, I like that one because usually I start with it, and then I do rise up. So you can
Nice.
just imagine, and then yeah, my mood during that time, or I go gospel, basically. That's
Yeah.
my
You know what I liked, and I've just picked it up now, that you guys know, like, you know each other. If that makes sense. I mean, you know what his favorite song. I don't think I know his favorite song. He knows mine. I probably don't have one as well. But anyway, okay. And then what's the one thing that you appreciate about Thabo, and what's the one thing that you appreciate about Refiloe?
gentleman first.
Okay.
Oh, what I appreciate about
Yeah.
She cooks nice.
That she's a nice cooker.
Hey.
No, that I agree. Okay.
Yeah, she cooks nice. Yeah, but apart from that, she's very a nice person. She's thoughtful.
Yeah.
She takes care of the family well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but on top of all of everything, I'll choose the food.
You'll choose the food.
Oh, the food is nice.
Oh, nice. Fifi. That's beautiful.
I'm gonna back away to a man's heart.
Yes, Kodi Pizza Ngwanyana. You know, girl. Yours, Fifi.
I appreciate the one thing I appreciate about Thabo is that he's a good father.
Nice.
Besides everything else, like he's a great dad, and you know when kids love you, you're a good person. In all, kids can sense energies.
Yeah.
And if you're not a good person, kids will never like you.
Yeah.
So I like that he loves kids, and not just his kids, but
Yeah.
his
Ooh,
nephews. Yeah, Nje.
No.
And I like that about him because I'm also that kind of person who loves kids. So I met someone who we share something in common with, you know. So yeah, no, he's a good person, and he loves kids, and that's what I like.
I like that, you know, because I think of, you know, when God makes two people come together, I think in most times it's intentional, in a sense that ugenzela umuntu ofanele wena, right? I think of my husband, and it's not that we don't like kids. we just prepare our space, right? And we have two beautiful daughters, but we just prefer our own space. So we're not people that would invite, you know, yay crash, and we get overwhelmed. But the fact that you're saying both of you actually love having kids around, that's a beautiful thing. It's really because it's something that you both share. You know, you're not overwhelming the other person, basically.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay. And what are some of the things that you miss about being single? Not being single together, being single alone, like only one, without Thabo in the picture, without Refiloe in the picture.
Like single as in like you're
Like
not married.
Not married, no kids. What's that one thing that you miss about being single?
Jesus.
We haven't been
I
single
was,
for
I
a
was
long
a broke
time.
student, so
You probably don't miss anything.
yeah. Now I must think, yo. I don't know. It's not like I enjoyed partying or
Yeah.
or
Is
going
it?
out. Like, yeah, I don't know.
Listen, I know that on my side, like not getting permission from another person, you know, not thinking about the next person, basically, like you just do your way. You don't have to think about anybody. If you want to come back at 12, you come back at 12.
But I was
And
at
nobody's
home.
going to ask you questions.
No, you can't come back at 12 at home.
Oh, you are still at home.
You're still at home. So I was never like single, living by myself, like working or things like that, you know. Like I was at home living with my brothers and my parents. So single is just me being at home.
Okay.
Yeah, so I never had like this, I don't know, imaginary freedom or something.
Is it?
Yeah.
Sure, okay. Fifi?
Let me just say, for the 2 months I was single, because we met in my first year in varsity, and I also lived with my parents.
Oh.
So when I got to varsity, we started dating in my first year. So the first few months whilst I was single, basically sleeping. I miss sleeping. I won't lie. Like, you know, when there's someone in your life, you need to wake up.
When?
You need to clean.
In the early hour. Oh, now I'm already thinking about it. Okay, my mind is very bad. Okay. Yeah.
You need to basically prep the space, for someone else.
Okay, yes. Yeah.
So just sometimes I'm that person. I just want to keep to myself. I want to close the curtains, close the doors, lock the doors, the windows, everything, and just be alone in the darkness. So yeah, I don't get that chance anymore because there's someone girl. It's funny because I wasn't a lady like now. I was tomboyish. Yeah, believe it or not, I used to be very tomboyish. Like I was that person, jean, techies, shirt, and I'm happy.
Sure.
Like
and
that
today
was
you're wearing these long heels.
Girl. Yeah, I ngiphuma kude.
Yeah, sure.
No, yeah, no. Even now I'm struggling with earrings. You can see I don't have any.
No, listen, we're together.
I'm struggling with earrings. I used to like cut my hair, X-curl and cut type of girl. Like I was very, very tomboyish.
Sure.
So me just being a lady like this, and it wasn't their thing back then. As long as I was clean, and I'm good.
So did you start changing after you met Thabo?
Not
no. There he goes. No,
not
you continued.
Not necessarily. I continued. I'm a firm believer in I'm not gonna pretend to be something I'm not.
Yeah.
Just for someone to like me, right? I am who I am. Even at work, it took me a while for me to, because I wasn't like an ass kisser and stuff like that. So people will distance and whatnot because I am who I am. I'm a bubbly person. I'm crazy. I'm that person. So me just conforming to the norm or societies, it's hard for me. Even fashion, the latest fashion, I'm not. Yeah. I will wear whatever I want whenever I want. So yeah, that's just.
But that must be beautiful as well, Thabo. Because imagine, dating or getting married to someone that is pressurized by what the society thinks of them.
That would be a nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably I wouldn't be here, but yeah.
So you're the same.
Yeah,
are you just like her as well?
Yes, I don't follow trends. I don't go and look for something because I don't know. Mang or other people in general on social media have it. Unless you say there's a discount, like 50% discount.
Exactly. Oh, because you guys a discount, we know.
Exactly. Yeah, if it's a trend and they say 50% or 70%, we're there.
Yeah.
If it makes financial sense, we're there.
We know, guys.
But if it doesn't make financial sense and it's a new thing, we're not gonna go there.
I wouldn't.
Sure. Okay. So you guys met each other. You dated. You said you dated from varsity.
2011, to be specific.
And when did you guys?
6 March 2011.
Sure. So you've been together for
12, 13 years. 12, 13.
13 years. 13. Yeah. Sure. That's a long time, hey?
It is. I like telling people that, like, literally, he's the first guy I met when I got to Pretoria. Because I'm from Mafikeng. So when I got here, he's the first guy I met. And then he's the guy I dated. Literally the only guy I dated in Pretoria.
Sure.
So, it's been a while.
So how was your dating life together before you guys got married and had kids?
We were like students. So, not much of a dating life. We would go out maybe here and there, go watch movies.
So no partying, no crazy things in between.
I was the partier, he wasn't.
You still are.
No, I've grown, guys. I've grown.
No.
I've grown. I don't party. I just go for dinner. Now I'm an adult. We do dinners now. We don't party. I'm a whole adult. Please.
Old age is kicking
in. Yo, it is.
So yeah, no. I used to be the one who partied because
Okay.
remember I just got my freedom from my parents.
Mm.
I was the child that before the sun sets you should be in the house, close the curtains, switch on the lights. I was that child. So you can imagine when I got to varsity, my own flat, everything. Beziwa.
Ugogo akekho. Siyakhuluma ugogo akekho.
Angekho gogo. You know, you
Sure.
go all out with that and yeah. But not forgetting why I was there, basically. So even if I'm going all out partying, like I even participated in Miss Rag. That's how involved I was in the party
Sure.
world because we had this pageant and if people saying yeah papa, that's where it comes. So yeah, no, we had this pageant, we had to raise funds for charity, and then we had this whole thing on stage where we would model. It was we're changing outfits, we did a whole performance.
Sure, nice, Fifi.
Yeah, no, I was there. Hey, I was
Sure.
having the time of my life
But
in
you guys
varsity.
were already dating.
Yeah, we
during
were
that
already
time.
yeah, we were already dating.
How was
She was
yours?
wearing that. What is it? Carcotia dress or something?
Yeah, no.
Really?
Yes.
Sakhumbula nje ukhana sifuna simbize. Do you still remember?
They were dressed by her.
Wow,
But
Like yeah.
Sure.
It was quite nice. Like we even did our hair go get it wrong.
Gary Rome, yes. That's
They
where they did.
sponsored our hair. And then
I
yeah.
had to take her like to Wood Hill or something. Wood
Yeah.
Hill Mall or something. Is it Wood Hill or Woodlands?
Woodlands.
Woodlands.
Yeah, Woodlands
Yeah.
Mall there by Gary Rome
Yeah, yeah.
for these pageant things.
Sure. So you were always there in everything that she was partaking in varsity,
Yeah, in the background.
in the background.
The only things he agreed with, okay, that one he agreed because it was a nice thing for me, right?
Yeah.
But he didn't like me partying. That he didn't like. I was like, hey, I'm still young, bruh.
So he would say what? Like he would say, "No, you're not going. No, come back at 10."
No, he
No,
wouldn't.
you find out after the fact that we.
Oh, we have a teacher then. Zakanga.
No. But it's not something that you prefer because party spaces, man, they're not good.
So you've never, like, since growing up, it's not something that you've done, like partying.
Partying.
Yeah.
No, I've been to parties. I've went to parties, friends' parties, but it was never my idea or anything. It's just me supporting maybe my friends or I don't know. Another friend say, let's go to this other party. Someone else is having a party. And I'm like, oh, okay, fine. So it's just to go with the guys. And yeah, after I started driving, I was more because I don't drink. They'll be like, no, Chief is going to drive us or things like that, you know?
It's
So
over.
yeah, I would go and attend. Yeah, it's not really my scene.
So you've never drank?
Look
Look at you.
I did. I did. Yeah, but I didn't like it.
When was this, Thabo? When was this?
When did I stop drinking? I don't know. Which year? Jesus.
Still in varsity though.
Yeah.
2010,
okay.
I think.
No, earlier than that. I think I stopped like.
So it was like an in and out testing vibe and
No,
this is
drinking.
not
It
for
was
me.
every time like I would be going out with friends. They would be like buying alcohol.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
things like that, and then we drink. Yeah, but it's never my idea. Like I said.
Yes.
Just going with the flow and things like
Yeah.
that. But this one time I went too hard. I was like, hey, you know what?
You,
I don't
I would
even.
love
I
to
don't.
see
I don't
I would
even-
have liked. I would have also loved to see that. Eh?
I was like, I know. You know what? I don't even like this thing. You know?
It's for the one.
Yeah, it's better not to just stress
Sure,
myself.
and you stopped from there.
Yeah, I just stopped from there.
Sure, and Refiloe you drink.
I drink.
Yeah, you still do.
I still do.
Okay, but not you're not a heavy drinker.
No.
Wine kind of girl.
I'm a cocktail,
Bubbly. Oh, okay.
cider. Wine, it's better. Apparently, I need to acquire the taste of wine. But I'm not there yet.
Oh, okay. You must have the right palate.
Yeah, you must have the right palate. I would rather go for sweet wine, but not the red the white dry, and stuff like that.
So you're more of a cocktail girl.
I'm more of a cocktail
Still
girl.
are.
So back then it was more ciders than
Yeah.
cocktails because I was a
And Gary,
student
you've
and I
grown
was
up
broke.
now. You did say.
Exactly. Now I'm working.
More mature.
I cannot.
You can afford.
I can afford
we
a cocktail. I can afford a cocktail, but yeah, no, I'm not a heavy drink. I'm not a more like a occasional
Yeah.
drinker. Unless maybe I'm stressed, and then I would have like a 2 ciders or something to
Or
sleep.
6.
No, when I'm home, I don't drink that much.
Do you drink in front of the kids?
No, I make sure they don't see me
Okay.
drinking.
Okay.
I try to hide that from them.
Mm.
Cause yeah, no, I don't want them getting used because where I grew up, my grandma used to sell alcohol. So I grew up in that environment where family was drinking, people were drinking in front of me and stuff like that. So I never want to expose my kids to that life that I grew up with, right? Because yeah, people when they're drunk they can do funny
Yeah.
things. So that's why sometimes I would wait for the kids because their bedtime is 8 o'clock, and then maybe have my drink afterwards when
Okay.
they've gone to bed, so that I can sleep or something. But it's never a thing that we're sitting here and I'm like, you know,
Yeah.
or I'll hide it in a cup that's not
Oh, okay.
visible. Yeah. So yeah, no man. I stopped drinking for a while. Um, I did stop around 2018 until I did stop for a little while. And then I planned the pregnancy, my second pregnancy. So
Planned.
yeah, the second pregnancy was planned. It
Okay.
wasn't. It wasn't an
We'll
oopsie.
get to that just now.
It wasn't an oopsie. So I had
What
to
happened?
be healthy, not drink, not do anything. And then after I had my child, he breastfed for like 2 years until he was
What?
2 years old. Yeah, he breastfed for 2 years.
Girl!
So I didn't drink then. And then probably started drinking like a few months after he stopped
Sure.
breastfeeding.
So you spoke briefly about your upbringing, and I was gonna ask you guys about that. How was your upbringing like, Thabo?
Similar structure. We church people. Growing up, church orientated family. Go with my grandma, my dad, my mom, my cousins as well. Like, would be doing church a lot. So I think I've had my fair share of church.
You've
I've
paid.
What
done,
do you
I've
mean?
done,
He's
I've
paid.
done,
He's
Do you
paid
not
his.
go anymore?
no, I've done my time. So I think the syllabus
Is there something
completed.
as such? Is church not forever?
Oh, like for a good 25 years, like going to church. That's like a quarter century.
Yeah.
If you haven't mastered anything by then, I don't know what's wrong. But yeah, maybe the next 25, I'll take a break. Maybe I'll go after from
This
50.
one, Haibo guys.
Me-
These are not Jason Zobon.
yeah, but so it was, yeah, upbringing just like that.
Okay.
Like my mom had 8 kids.
Hmm.
Yeah, I live with my mom, my dad, and my grandma. So grandmas are the best.
From mom's side or dad side?
From that side and mom's side, she did come also through the later years, like the last years. Then yeah, they were living with us.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Where was this?
Mamelodi.
Oh.
Oh yeah, grew up in Mamelodi Gardens, close to Mamelodi campus.
Mm.
So makes life easy. Yeah, so grew up there, played in the dusty streets. Well, we were lucky, the first people after the ANC government came through. We were one of the first
Tar
people
road.
to get a tar road.
Very privileged.
The pioneers. So we didn't play on the dusty streets for so long,
Yeah.
So yeah, we had tar roads, yeah, but we still played a lot with the kids there. Primary school I also went. for the whole of primary school, learning my Tonga.
Sure.
Yeah.
And you speak Tonga very well.
Yeah, I speak, but I have less people to speak Tonga with now. Because I would speak Tonga all the time with my dad, my grandma, and the people in school. Then went to high school, but were just English. Hey, these people, they don't speak Tonga.
Yeah.
They're just speaking English, Zulu,
So your wife doesn't know
Afrikaans.
Tonga as well.
No, Tonga is a bit tough, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
He
tough
doesn't
to
want to
learn.
teach me. Doesn't want to teach me. There's no toughness here. I don't know why they are safeguarding this Tsonga language, but he doesn't want to teach me. But it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, high school I went there by the zoo, Langenofe.
Yeah.
School. Primary it was Mwabangani, and high school I went to Langenofen. It's in town there by the Pretoria Zoo. Spent like 5 years there. Oh,
Sure.
yeah.
So you grew up in a warm home. You know, mother and dad
Yeah.
were there, both grandmas were there. You had 7 other siblings.
Yeah. So
Sure.
it was, yeah, it was warm.
And you are number out of the 8 of you.
There's 2 more after me. So I'm number 6.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it was warm. Like even all the kids in the neighborhood would be coming to our house to play. Yeah, like leave at night.
Sure.
Yeah, some would eat as well. You know.
Sure.
So yeah, it was nice and warm environment
Sure.
growing up. And yeah, when you notice the discipline was delivered promptly.
And
We
is
don't
it
wait.
something that you are passing on to your kids
You mean
in terms of discipline?
discipline? No. Now I employ a different strategy. Even my dad in his last years was like, no man, don't beat these kids, you know. And I'm like, how is it you now?
You don't
Who's
remember.
who's saying all this? Like, no, don't beat the kids and things like that. But I think I'm in agreement. You only need to go that route when I don't know all else has failed. Like you know. But yeah, try to speak to the kids. I think they listen. The time they get to learn what's wrong, what's right, you just need to speak to them
Yeah.
the same way like we speak to one another as
Yeah.
adults. You know, it's not always the case that we have to give that discipline.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can imagine,
That's true.
but yeah, you can imagine even at work, you do not want to be disciplining people that way. It's the quickest way to get fired, you know. But yeah, sometimes on the street it can be necessary, but you don't want to go that route. You talk to people that way.
Sure, nice. And your upbringing, Fifi?
Mm.
So you've sort of spoken about it.
Yeah, so I was raised by my grandmother, my grandmothers actually. I lived with my grandmother and my great grandmother. So I moved around a bit. When I was young, I lived for a year. I lived with my aunt at some point. Then after my mom got married in Mafikeng, I moved to Mafikeng.
Oh.
Yeah. So I grew up. I was born in Val. In the
How?
Val. Yeah, I was born in the Val. So yeah, I grew up there, and then I moved when I was doing grade 6. I moved to Mafikeng. And then that's where, yeah. But yeah, no, I grew up in an environment where my grandmother, my great grandmother, was an archbishop. So you could not dodge church, eh? Where every Sunday we knew there was church, and we were those people. When you leave the house, you pray. When you arrive
That's beautiful.
in the house, you pray. When we eat, we pray. So basically, it was prayer nonstop. And every Sunday church, and we loved going to my great grandma's place. Hey, all my cousins, we loved assembling there and having a good time. We were those people, just holidays, we want to be there. Even though she was very strict, she was like the strictest woman I've
Sure.
ever uh, been with. But one thing I learned from my grandmother, my great grandma, my mom, is the toughness that I have now. Like, I was taught that a woman, you stand for yourself. You're not gonna be depending on a man. You need to do something for yourself so that you stand on your own 2 feet. I was raised by a very strong woman.
Sure.
One thing for sure. And my great grandma, oh God, rest her soul. I loved her. Hey, I adored her. She she was strict, but she loved me so much. She was those people like, I don't have money, and then she'll call you to the bedroom and give you
She doesn't even mind in front of the people.
in front of the people, call you to the bedroom and give you something. But I was, it was, I'm a bit older. I'm one of the older ones, so had that privilege of aunts and uncles fussing over me.
Oh.
I would be taken to. Back then it was Bioscope. My uncle
Eh-heh.
took me to Bioscope.
Eh-heh.
My uncles would look after me. My aunts would look after me. I was
Sure.
that child. I was
Yeah.
everyone's child, and I loved it because everyone played a part in my upbringing.
Sure.
And sometimes, you get mad at family, but you're like, actually, thank you. Like, you guys were there during some difficult times and stuff like that. Even after you had your kids, then things changed.
Yeah.
Because now people have to look after their kids, right?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, and then I moved to Mafikeng, finished my primary and high school there. And yeah, I lived with my mom and dad and 2 little sisters. And then, yeah, they were born 10 and 11 years after me.
Sure.
So I was the only child for the longest time.
Yo, wait, oh, yeah. That's long, actually.
For the longest time, I was the only child. So the 2 rugrats were born 10 and
Oh, they're 1 year apart.
yeah,
So how
they're
many
1
are
year
you?
apart. It's the 3 of us.
Oh, it's the 3 of you guys.
Yeah, it's the 3 of us. So yeah, they were born like later
And you're
on.
the eldest.
I'm the
Obviously.
eldest, yes.
Okay.
I won't say it was an easy upbringing. I won't lie. There were some challenges, difficulties, but yeah, we made it. Eh?
So obviously the both of you met in varsity, right? That's what you said. After your first year, or his first year.
My first
Your
year.
first year of
Yeah,
varsity.
he's
And
an
you
old man.
dated for a while, I'm assuming. So what year were you on? If you're saying he's an old man. Because you're not too far apart. That I know, girl.
He's 10 years older. Can't you see him?
Ay, sugar daddy.
I'm a sugar daddy.
So you dated for how long? How long did you guys date before getting married?
Yup. God.
7 years.
So you dated for 7 years,
Mm.
and then you got married.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 7 years.
Was it a mutual decision to get married? Why did you guys choose to get married? How
Okay.
old is your eldest son? I'm trying to see if there's an answer. Because how old is the eldest one?
He's 10.
10.
10,
Oh, yeah, he's
11
10.
this year.
Okay.
He's 10 now. No? So I think what we had our first son, right?
Yeah.
And then after having our first son, then there was no pressure or anything. Everything we were just allowed to roam around as a family for a while, and we were trying to delay it for some time because getting married is costly. You can't just like go to Home Affairs and sign and do in the black community. So yeah, we tried to delay it until now we are both working, and then
Okay.
we had no more excuses like as to, hey guys. So they'd be like, if it's money you are complaining about,
We'll help you.
we'll help you. We'll
Sure.
throw a wedding for you. So I was like, okay, sharp. So we've saved some money. We can pay Logola and help out with the wedding. So the wedding was a gift, actually.
Was it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
From
was a
who?
gift.
From the community, because on my side, the Tswana people are very generous, guys. From my side, basically, people donated tents, people donated a cow, um,
Sure.
chairs,
It was a blessed one, hey?
yeah, no, food. There were so many donations from my side that
Mm,
we didn't really need to contribute a lot. Probably we paid for like the DJ, the cake, and the deco.
Mm.
yeah, small things
Yeah.
that we had to pay for.
Mm.
So then he was like, okay, no, this is a great deal. That's when we just kept fine. No more fat and setting,
Okay.
And then, yeah, we got married. And yeah, we threw another celebration, but it was a small one
Mm-hmm.
when they brought her
Mm-mm.
to Mamelodi. So
Is it safe to say it was you were not forced to get married because of the first child?
no, it's not really a force, but it's like, okay, they keep on asking. They've been asking for a good, how many years? 5?
Mm.
Yeah, it's like, okay, when is they getting married? Oh, okay, no, they get married once they get a job. I graduated. They'd be like, no, but he still needs to pay for school fees for
Mm.
this one. Okay, then she graduated, and then they'd be
Mm.
like, okay, guys, now both of you graduated. Now you are both working.
Mm.
What is your story now? You
Mm.
get what I'm saying? Then we'll be like, okay, fine, sharp. Now we no longer have like excuses
Mm.
of delaying, because you try to save up so that you can have a nice wedding,
Mm.
kind
Why are you
of,
pointing at me? Oh.
kind of things. But then, yeah, when the gift was there, then you're
Mm.
like, this is an opportunity. Let's do it now before they change their mind
Yeah.
and hold back their donations.
Mm. So
Yeah.
marriage, it comes with a lot, right?
Mm.
And I think as young couples, too often times we struggle with a lot of things that we don't talk about because it's either we're scared of what the society will say, and we don't want to expose what we go through. And one of the sensitive topics when people want to get married is marriage contracts.
Mm.
Is it something that you guys discussed, agreed, and you were both like thumbs up? Let's go with it.
Yeah. Because with time, you get to learn as to what happens and what is actually marriage. Because to me, in terms of daily living,
Yeah.
like on a day to day life, we were staying together, right? So
Mm.
it was like you are married already. It's just that you haven't gone to the home affairs
Eh.
and gotten the contract, and you haven't had the wedding
Mm. Mm.
as well. So when we actually now it's time to get married, we're like, okay, fine. What are the systems that are there for marriage?
Mm.
Right? There's different types of contracts.
Mm.
There's community of property,
Yep.
out of community of property,
Mm.
with accrual, without accrual.
Yeah.
And then we thought as to how would these type of contracts affect us
Mm.
on a day-to-day basis,
Mm.
right? So when we thought community of property, we were like, no, because this one, it affects you today.
Yeah.
If I go and gamble and come back with the debt,
She suffers.
she suffers, but not only she suffers, but
The kids.
the kid will also suffer,
Mm.
right? So that one was completely out. Then we're like, okay, at least we were in agreement there. She works with the, law firms or something, auditors or something.
Mm.
Even at work, they've been discussing that, I know, don't get married, community of property and things like that. Me, in general, I was just thinking it's a bad idea anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we decided, okay, we're not going to go that route. Then we'll go out of community of property without the accrual system, right? And like she's saying, she stand on your own and things like that.
Yeah.
Because what we also discussed is, okay, if we were to do the accrual system, I can just go blast my money and buy
Still.
useless things, you know?
Absolutely.
And at the end of the marriage, I decide, you know what? I want your things. Mina, I've splashed what I was working for, you know? But now you've accrued things. And then if you're going with the accrual system and towards the later years, you decide, I don't know, for some odd reason, you never know how life goes. And then you want to take the one who was accruing things whilst you were not. Yeah, I think that was the thought process behind.
And from both ends.
Yeah, and that I'm not sure about.
I won't lie.
Yeah.
In the beginning, we fought about it
Sure.
because you remember I'm coming from an emotional point of view.
Yeah.
Until we sat down and spoke facts, right? And then it started making sense because I was like on the emotion. You think I'm gonna divorce? You think I'm gonna take your thing? You know, I was on that point, but eventually, like he said, we discussed. I spoke to people outside. He showed me reason, and I was like, actually, it does make sense because, again, his church, they also can marry more than one wife, right?
Oh, so you were thinking of that as well?
I was like, ain't no other woman's gonna spend my money. I'm not. I didn't go to tax for so long for another woman to step in and spend my money, right? I was also on that right that, you know what, actually, to protect me and protect my kids, because they're the ones actually I wake up for every morning and go to work and build all of these things for. It's not for me, it's for them. So that should anything happen to me, they have a good life. So I was like, if someone were to come and take all of these things from my kids, it wouldn't sit well with me, right? So then everything came together, and also the debts, like I was saying. And it also gives you that opportunity to build something for yourself. It gives you that thing that, oh, okay, I don't have this, I need to build this. But sometimes it's like, okay, he wants to build, let him build for his kids. It's our kids. Let him build for his kids. I'll splurge. I'll be the woman and splurge my money. But no, it opens up your mind to all the possibilities of life. And also, if something happens, what do I have? What do I call mine? What is it that's mine? You know, should we split? What is it that I can point to that I worked for this? You know, I worked for that. So yeah, no, it was heavy discussions, but eventually it was a mutual decision after we showed each other some facts. And yeah.
Did you at any point, so he came up with the conversation, right? You had to buy into it. Did you at any point think he's wanting these things because one day he's gonna divorce you, or one day he's gonna, because I think if you're not knowledgeable about the types of marriage contracts that exist, if someone comes to you and say, listen, Mina, I want to get married out of community of property, you're already thinking, oh yeah, nah, there's many things that literally go through your mind. How did it feel for you?
Because I wasn't working, like I said, I became emotional. I thought,
oh, you were not working.
I wasn't working around the time it started. The discussion started. I started working like a few months later. So when he spoke up, I'm like, oh, so you think I'm after your things? You know, I didn't think divorce, but I thought, oh, you think I'm after your things? You think I'm after your money? You think I'm after, because when you're working, I'm not working. But again, when that conversation arose, it was a terrible year for me. I was going through horrible depression. So you think a lot of things when you're going through depression, right? You tend to overthink even things that are not there. So I think that's what sparked my argument. And I'm a very stubborn person. One thing for sure.
Are you?
when it comes to certain things, I'm very stubborn, and he's also stubborn. You can imagine two people who are stubborn, Jay,
Ooh la la.
trying to agree on something. It doesn't end well for both of us. But yeah, no, it was around 2017 before I started working. Started working in 2018, so around 2017, before I started working, we started having those discussions, and like I said, it was one of those years where depression was real. Literally, when he would go to work, I would sleep all day. Like, take my son to school, he goes to work, and sleep all day. Do nothing. I was so depressed because I had failed one module. I was finishing up one module from varsity. I lost my job contract because of that. Yeah. So I felt like my life was just useless and stuff like that. So you go through a lot emotionally, and I think it was a time he didn't know. I used to like drink as well when he wasn't home. I would
Is he only
hide.
knowing this now?
No,
Or
he
you
found out. He found out
Okay,
later
I'm
on
just
that
making
year.
sure. Ning Ning, when you get home, how, Fifi?
No, he found out later on that, like, I hid the bottle of wine behind the pots. He doesn't touch the pots, so he would never see it. So I would like hide it. So it was those, I was going through a lot. I was not in the right space, and also the talks of, hey, when are you guys getting married, and we dodging that, and things were not going right.
Were you guys staying together at that point?
We were.
Wait, because I know that it's sometime you stayed with my mom-in-law for a while. Was this that time?
Mm-mm.
No.
It was, we were
It
staying
wasn't.
at mid-rent, yeah, Grand Central Apartments. It was around there.
This is 2018.
2017.
2017.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was 2017. So, nje, yeah.
And how was Tabo's support as a husband when you were going through these things? Was he there for you?
I didn't know.
One thing about
Look at him.
one thing about my husband, is that his EQ is terrible. He doesn't pick up on emotional
Finished, I'm
cues.
so sorry. It's okay. Sorry, Refiloe.
He didn't know. He can't pick up these things.
Yeah.
Like I can. I swear, if I'm sad, Thabo won't pick up until I tell him I'm
Sure.
sad.
Even now.
Even
Like
now.
even now.
Oh, not all the time, but most of the time I miss it. You know?
Me? Oh.
Yeah. So most of the time I do miss it. Like, it's difficult to read people's emotions.
Oh.
Yeah, it's difficult. I have a hard time, regardless
Yeah.
of where I am in general. But when someone is like upset, and then they're not talking, they're not responsive, then you start asking what's wrong. And if you say I'm fine, I'm gonna assume you're fine.
And that's it.
Yeah,
Sure.
it's difficult to
Yeah.
for me.
Sure. So you had to go through these emotions basically alone.
Yeah. No one knew. Yeah, no one knew. Not even friends. No one. I I I learned from a very young age to learn to hide how I feel.
Sure.
I always used my smile as a facade.
Yeah.
So everyone would see me smiling and think, oh my gosh, what a lovely, happy child. Kanti, I was going through the most. That's why I'm saying my upbringing, as much as I had good times, but there were those moments where it wasn't so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I learned, that's why I'm saying I gained the strength from my family, the woman in my family, that as a girl, you don't cry. You are panda. You see what happens. You basically, what's this? You need to take care of yourself because no one else is going to take care of you.
Yeah, that's true.
So, so I learned that from a very early, like when I say early, I mean like primary early stage, that I only have me. and I've got my back, basically. So to everyone else, I'm happy. Behind the scenes, a lot is going on. So yeah, we cry when we sleep. When we wake up, we're fine.
And how did you come out of it?
Um, shoo.
Did you open up to Thabo at some point? Was he part of the healing process?
Tabo knew certain parts. I told him in varsity certain things that happened in my childhood. I would, but not fully open up. I tried therapy in varsity. Yeah, I stopped going. And then, to be honest, when I fully released everything, it was last year. I went to therapy. Um, it became bad. It became horrible to a point that I ended up in ICU. That's how bad it became. So after that, I had to enroll for a program, and um, then I went to therapy because now it was not only the things of my childhood. It wasn't only the things in my marriage. It was also work. So everything was just piling on my shoulders, and then it just flatlined. And then, yeah, I ended up in hospital, enrolled for a program where you attend these classes for like 2 weeks. And you talk about your feelings, you talk about everything in group therapy. So that's when I released everything to a point that I was actually the youngest in the group, but those women were like, "How old are you? How is it that such a young person has gone through what you've gone through?" Yeah. So after that, I realized that I can't keep keeping things in. So now I talk. I bottle everything to
So
anyone.
my other question is, so you were able to open up to strangers, and yet we are taught that in marriage, communication is one of the key elements to making it successful. Did you at any point find the ability to open up to your husband and tell him what you're going through, knowing very well that he does not have that capability of actually pointing out when you're not okay?
You see, with that, my solution is always go to therapy because
Okay.
I don't know how to deal with this. Like she said, the varsity, she went to therapy to get there, thinking all is well, right? But so for me, when it comes to problems, I would recommend like the textbook solution of doing things. But if like talking to me, you will talk, but I wouldn't necessarily have, I don't know, a good response. Do you get? So yeah, she would talk, but the response would maybe, I don't know, I keep quiet.
Upset me further.
Or
Basically,
It just makes it worse.
Yeah, oh
It
yeah,
makes it
sometimes
worse at that point.
I can break it down. You know, like critical thinking. Like I'm an engineer, guys.
Wait, you are an engineer. Okay.
Like I break it down, and then when I come up with a solution, looks at me like I'm crazy. How can you say that? Like, what's wrong with you? Kind of. So it's difficult for me, like, to deal with such.
Sure. So basically, therapy carried you.
Therapy carried me, and I won't lie, my friends were there. Phew. I don't know what I would have done without them, because, like, I would literally call them and they would listen. So it was therapy, it was my friends, it was my little sisters were also there. Like, they tried. Shame. They're not experienced, but they tried. So I had a lot, and my mom. Like, I don't know how many times my mom came this side. But yeah, my mom was there also. She would, like, she didn't know what to do, but she would. Naya, she's a person who sometimes I would get upset by her solutions, because she's emotional like me. Sometimes I would just get mad. I don't know how many times I've fought with her because, like, I'm crying here, and when your solution is fix things, or what did you do, or so I would get really upset, to a point that I stopped telling her things as well. I was like, you know what, it's fine. I'm not gonna tell you anything because I feel like I'm bothering you. So yeah, the reason why I shut down is because I thought I was bothering people with my problems. So I stopped talking.
Sure.
And it was just building. You're taught when you're married, hey, when you're married, you keep it inside. You kneel, you pray,
I was never
you we were taught that you close yourself in the bedroom, you kneel, you pray. That's how you don't talk to friends, you don't talk to. But then I realized that actually these old advices, they're killing us as the youth, because it's depressing. You'll get depressed in your marriage. You will suffer in silence because you are taught, don't talk to friends, don't talk about your problems, pray about your problems, don't let other people into your marriage, blah 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 blah. All of that. It's killing us, it's killing the youth. How many women end up in psych wards because they can't talk, they can't open up? So that's why I've decided that I'm no longer keeping anything in. I'm talking. He knows. If something upsets me, I tell him now. Like, I used to hold things in for his sake. Like, I wouldn't tell him how I'm really feeling because I was thinking about his feelings. How is it gonna treat him? How is it gonna sit? If I don't tell him this, literally I conformed to society and I lost myself in my marriage.
Sure.
So I became who a wife should be instead of who I am. And it wasn't I'm pretending. No, beaky by beaky you change. It's a thing that eats away at you little by little. When you're keeping things in, you try to please your husband, you try to please your kids, you make everyone else around you happy, but you're not happy. So you lose who you are, you lose your identity because you're trying to be the perfect wife, the perfect mother, and everything. So I was like, after therapy, they told me, never place too much expectations on someone because they'll disappoint you. But also, and it's not fair also on the next person.
Yeah.
Never expect someone else to do this and this and this for you, and then you're not communicating those things, but you're expecting them. And then if they don't do it, you become sad and you become angry and everything else in between. So yeah.
Sure. So you had a strong support around you. Do you have support? Are you a person? I know that most men keep things to themselves.
Yeah.
I would like to think so. I know my husband talks.
Yeah, no, you talk, but okay. Yeah.
But are you someone that keeps things to themselves and you pray? Or are you able to open up? So as much as she's able to open up, but you don't know what to say back, are you able to open up to her and have conversations, difficult conversations with her?
Yeah, but they would come out directly. Like, you can't cut through the corners. Or
It sounds rude, basically.
it sounds rude to me. Yeah, I've been told that I'm rude.
Sure.
You know, but yeah, when there's a problem that needs to be addressed, you address it. But many things I just don't talk about them. I just keep quiet. Yeah. Sometimes time just sorts things out, Yeah, sometimes like just sorts things out. Maybe I can be quiet, like just not talk until I'm spoken to when I'm upset about something. Yeah, I can be like quiet until I get to a point where I'm ready to just talk. Okay, I don't like this. You must stop doing this and then. Yeah, I can't be constantly addressing things. Yeah, but in terms of talking, friends and family, yeah, we do talk, but that's when you're just letting things out, when we're complaining about, oh yeah, man, this is the things that we do. They're not seeing the things that we are doing,
Yeah.
you know? And again, in order not to sound rude, you don't want to mention the things that you are doing. Because sometimes you feel like, okay, no, I'm doing so much, but it's not seen, right? Yeah, you feel like it's not seen or appreciated. You can see that, oh, okay, on a day to day, the things that you are doing, you can see it makes people happy, right? So you just provide those things. But the recognition, you will get it maybe after some time when they think back, oh, you know what? You've been doing this and that and that. And I'm like, oh, okay, at least you are able to see this without having been told. But when you're talking to men, sometimes they can tell you, you know what? Sometimes it's important to mention what it is that you're doing so that people can see and understand what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right. So for me, you just said the day I die, uzonkumbula, because you won't be able to see, like now, the absence of the things that you're providing will be there in a big way, you know. But yeah, I think that's how most men handle. They just talk to themselves whenever you get together, which is like, I don't know, once in a blue mood. Right? Yeah, then you talk to each other. And then yeah, with my brothers, uh, we do talk, but after a long time. So